Hey guys, welcome to True Social Flow. This is Tom, and today I want to make a video on building strong habits. So the first thing I want to talk about is the kind of difficulties that people have when they want to build a new habit. So for example, if you want to start a New Year's resolution or any kind of new habit. So let's get straight into it. And the main issue that I want to talk about is biting off more than you can chew. So in other words, making a commitment to do a certain habit that is too much to keep up over the long term. So for example, again, this is very common with New Year's resolutions, where you might say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym for 1 hour a day, or maybe even more. And when you start on the 1st of January, you can do it because you have that motivation that is required. It's the first day of the year, the first day of keeping up that resolution. You have the motivation. The problem comes, of course, when you get to like February or maybe even March, if you do well, when that initial motivation has fallen off, and it always does. When you build a habit of something, the motivation does wane over time, because of course in building a habit things become more routine, a little bit more robotic, if you want to put it in that way, and therefore there's not much emotion attached to it, and of course therefore the motivation will decline. It'll just become something that you're used to doing. It won't feel as special as when you go to the gym on that first day in January. So that's one of the main issues. I think another issue I want to talk about is this idea of perfectionism, where, especially with resolutions, you say I've got to do it every day, or you have some kind of aim that you need to keep it up maybe a certain amount of times a week, and when you break it, then everything kind of topples like a house of cards. There isn't a plan to deal with setbacks. There isn't a plan to get back up on the horse and keep going when you fuck up, which you will inevitably do because we're not perfect. And the way I think to combat this is by making commitments that are not quite as big, but with a view of, can you keep this up over the long term? So if you ask yourself, can I keep up the commitment of going to the gym every day for 1 hour, even on those days when I'm really not motivated and I'm really not feeling it? And personally, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that, and I think a lot of people, if they're really honest with themselves, they don't have the willpower to be able to do it, and that's okay, because we do have limited amounts of willpower, and we can't always find that motivation and willpower to do everything we want every day. Everyone has lazy days. So I think it's kind of like some saying, but I've kind of adapted it to do with habits. You can have a big commitment that you keep up some of the time. You can have a small commitment that you keep up all of the time, but you can't keep up a big commitment all of the time. So if you want to build a habit that you do continuously day after day, and I think that's the best way of building habits, because you build up a streak, so like a streak of doing things every day, which in itself is motivation to keep the habit going. If you want to build up a streak of doing it continuously, it needs to be a small commitment. It needs to be a mini habit. Something like, I'm going to go to the gym for 15 minutes a day. Sure, if I'm feeling it, I might stay there for an hour or maybe 2 hours. But 15 minutes is the minimum requirement. And on those days when you're feeling it, you can go and you can smash it for an hour. But those days when you're not feeling it, you can go and you can do 15 minutes, but keep the habit going, keep the streak going. And it might even need to be smaller. You might even need to make it smaller than 15 minutes. I think going to the gym, just going to the gym, literally walking to the gym when you're not feeling it, is a big habit, a big commitment to do. So you might have an even smaller habit of saying, I'm just going to go to the gym. That's going to be my commitment that I've got to keep up day after day. Don't even do a workout. On those days when you're not feeling it, you go to the gym and you come home again. But of course, building a habit is very good for overcoming that initial what's the word, kind of inertia about doing something. Okay, so you might build a habit of going to the gym, literally walking to the gym every day, and in doing that you end up being at the gym, and you end up working out a lot because you're at the gym and you think, okay, while I'm here, I'll work out. So having a small commitment that you can keep up every day and then build a streak. Because if you have a habit and you have a streak, you say, I did this habit, it's a small commitment, but I did this habit and I did it 365 days this year. That's really motivating, and you will keep it up and you'll feel good about it. And I think with New Year's resolutions, pick something small that you can keep above the long term. There is nothing noble or honourable about starting off with a big commitment that you then can't keep up. Pick a ridiculously small commitment that you can keep up and then build from that. That is the most important thing, building the streak. And the final thing I want to say is dealing with setbacks. Now, I think one of the biggest issues is you might have a streak and you might say, okay, I've been to the gym for a month, and then you miss it. I'm talking about the gym, but it's to do with every habit. I'm talking about any habit. I use the gym as an example. But you might go for 30 days and then you miss one day, and then the whole thing topples like a house of cards because you've broken the 100% record. I find one way of overcoming this is to actually give myself lives. In other words, give myself chances of fucking up. Like you play a video game, you don't get one life. Your character gets multiple lives so that you can fuck up and you still have another chance. Of course, you have a limited amount of lives. I would do the same with habits. I would say, I will allow myself to fuck up twice a week, so I can fuck up twice a week, but I can still get back on the horse and I can still keep it going. The streak will continue even if I fuck up twice a week. Again, this might seem like a little bit of a cop-out. You should say, well, I should have the motivation to never fuck up. I should have the motivation to keep up a big commitment. But that's the kind of thinking, it's positive thinking, but it's not realistic. We are imperfect. We don't have the motivation to do everything. And if you're honest with yourself, you know that. You know that you can't do everything you set out to do. You can't do everything. You need to take baby steps, and that's the best way of getting to the end of the journey. So thank you guys, thank you for listening to this video. If you're interested, there's going to be more videos like this coming up on this channel. Like and subscribe, take a look at our website, truesocialflow.com, not.uk.com, truesocialflow.com. It'll be down in the description below. Thank you for watching guys, peace, take care.